Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Dawn Huffy, and today is Friday, August 15th of 2025. This week, I've been noticing that I've been posting a bit about overusing our strengths and stepping into other people's territory. Do a lot of posting on LinkedIn. And it seems to be the topic that's up for a lot of people. And so I decided to look for an answer from God to see if he could speak to this. And of course, I found one. And this answer came on October 2nd of 2022. My question to him was, what is it like to be divine in human form? How can I be more like you, God? Teach me, show me. Give me some insights about all that. And he answered me, oh, I know there is disappointment when people ignore your wise counsel. But remember, each person has free will and can accept or reject your counsel at will. Just know that you shared out of care and concern, and now respect their choice by completely letting go of the topic. They may reconsider your idea at a later time, but do not lay in waiting for that to happen. That is not letting go. That is efforting against their personal choice. Do what you can with what you have from where you are, and then release the result of it all. And now bring your attention back to yourself and discourage any more ideas and efforting to fix others. It is not your job to fix another. It is your job to be responsible for yourself and to stay away from being responsible for others. We all find our divineness in our own time, and each of us deserve to be free of the pressure to be or to do something we don't want or to do something we're not ready for. In Jesus' mighty and powerful name, amen. This word was so good for me to read again and review because I love to teach. I love to help. And I titled this Don't Overuse Your Strengths because teaching and helping is a strength of mine. But if I get into overusing it, it puts me in a place that's very unpleasant and very uncomfortable, and it can wreck relationships because I want to teach people stuff so they get it, so their life is easier. And that's not my job. God is telling me it is your job to be responsible for yourself and stay away from being responsible for others. As a mother, I think it just got ingrained in me to be responsible for my children, especially being a single mother. I didn't have that husband in the home most of the time raising my kids. And so I was fully responsible for them. And for me to make the shift to allowing them to be responsible for their own lives has been a major challenge for me. I don't know about other mothers and how they make that transition, but for me, even as my kids are 42 and 41, I still have to remind myself, don't get into their stuff. Don't tell them what to do. Don't advise them. Don't give them ideas that they haven't asked for. Yes. So God says, remember, each person has free will and they can accept or reject your counsel at their will. One thing that I've learned over the last several years is that when I see something that would benefit someone else, instead of just jumping in and telling them what to do, I ask them, can I give you some feedback about that? Now, I noticed yesterday that I did that with somebody, but I never waited for their answer. they were like kind of hesitating, and I just jumped in and gave the answer anyway. It was with my granddaughter, and she was playing the piano, and I said, I took a lot of piano lessons, and I actually gave a few piano lessons. And so I thought, oh, it'd be so much easier if she could just place her hand. And I said, can I teach you how to do that? And she just kind of like didn't do anything. And then I just gently showed her, and then she went back to the way she was doing it. I said, yeah, you can do it that way too. It doesn't matter. And so it wasn't any disrupting thing for our relationship, but I noticed that I didn't wait for her answer. I didn't ask her again, is it okay if I do that? I'd like to show you something different that might make it easier, or kind of explain it to her a little bit better that, she might want to learn something different. So it's just telling me that that strength that I have to teach is still needing to be monitored. I gotta be careful about overusing that strength. Now, you may have a strength of generosity, for example. That's wonderful if you want to give to people. But if you start over giving, you could put yourself in jeopardy with your finances, or maybe enabling people when they need to be doing it for themselves and you are generously giving, and it's a detriment to them. Now, God warned me, and I just want to repeat this. The people that I give an idea to, they may consider it, they may not implement it. I had this with a friend. She was complaining about something, and I said, well, this is what you could do, because it was with her grandchildren, and I'm a parent educator, and I used to teach parents how to be the best parent they could be and use certain skills. And so I gave her this idea, and I thought, oh, that'll take care of that. It'll be so easy. And I talked to her a few weeks later, and she was whining and complaining about the same problem. And I thought, well, you never took my idea. So I guess you didn't really want to fix it that bad, or you like the struggle, or I don't know really what pattern is going on for her that she stays in that. But I thought, I'm not saying anything again. I already gave you one idea and you never used it. So I guess you have to sit in your problem for as long as you want. I was kind of miffed about it, but God's telling me they have free will. They can reject your idea. It's up to them. She may come back to that idea. She gets fed up with struggling with the situation, or maybe she won't. I don't know. It's up to her. Gotta let it go. God says, do what you can with what you have from where you are. I love how God speaks to me in my own language, because this is something I learned from my coach. This is a brave thinking tool. Do what you can with what you have from where you are, and then release the result of it all. I gave her a fantastic idea about how to deal with this issue with her grandkids. Did she use it? No. So I got to release the result of it all. If she whines and complains about it again, I might say, I gave you an idea, but you haven't used it yet. Maybe I'll do that. We'll see. But God reminds me, and now bring your attention back to yourself and discourage any more ideas and efforting to fix others. This is a dysfunctional pattern of fixing others, overhelping. You got to be careful of that, because it's kind of a pattern of enabling. It comes out of all of the drinking dysfunction, and definitely there's alcoholism in my family. My grandpa was a bad alcoholic, I guess. When I was alive, he wasn't drinking, but he was, and so those patterns come through. generation after generation until somebody finally breaks them. And that's what I'm working at. Noticing the pattern, understanding the pattern, and recognizing the pattern, and doing my best to change it. God also said to me, we all find our divineness in our own time. I'm thinking, oh, they got to get it now. This is my timing. You're whining and complaining about it, and I can give you an answer and you can fix it now. He says they find their divineness in their own time. It's not your timeline, Dawn. It's theirs and his. Mhm. He also said each of us deserve to be free of the pressure to be or to do something we don't want to, or to do something we're not ready for. So evidently she's not ready to fix it. And she deserves to be free of my pressure to do it on my timeline. Wow, this is so good for me to review this. And if you have this pattern, I hope it's really giving you some insights about how to handle this and how to break it. I wanted to find a Bible verse to go along with this, and I found one in Romans 12:2, and it says, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is the good and acceptable and perfect will of God. It's not about making other people do my will. It's about allowing them to do the perfect will of God. Do I have good ideas? Yes, I think I do. But maybe other people don't think I have good ideas. Maybe some people will take them. I need to find the right realm in which to teach in. And I found that on LinkedIn and I found that in my coaching. And so I don't need to do it in my personal relationships unless they allow me to do it. I'll say, can I give you some insight on that? Or can I give you some information about that I've learned? Can I give you some feedback on that? And then wait for the answer, Dawn. Okay, I think that's everything today about overusing your strengths. Identify your strengths and then start to notice what you're noticing, which is brave thinking tool number one. Are you overusing that beautiful strength where it becomes a detriment? Okay, thank you so much for being here. Thank you.